Let's play a clip to illustrate what's happening with sports books.
They're so frightening, they're mentioned in the scriptures as divine punishment. Locusts have been harbingers of doom from time immemorial. Notorious they may be, but this is exceptional. It's 70 years since Kenya witnessed these sights and sounds.
The imagery here is of locusts swarming fields and devouring and destroying crops. And that is analogous to what is happening with these various sports books. They are devouring money and destroying society. So let's look at the websites for a few different sports books, starting with Prize Picks. And it appears that they have the guy from the Google Pixel commercial with Jimmy Butler on their homepage. DraftKings features Kevin Hart. Tabbing over to Fanduel, one note here is that they rebranded the 16 regional sports networks that were under the Bally banner. They've rebranded that to the Fanduel Sports Network. And then we have ESPN Bet, which is the official sports book of ESPN. And then last, we have the Fanatics Sportsbook and Casino. And of course, there are many more sports books. But you have to ask yourself a few questions here. One is, why are there so many sports books that exist? Why are there so many sports books that continually open up? Another question is, how do they afford this omnipresent advertising that never stops? Moreover, how are they paying for these celebrity endorsements? And then looking at the rebranding rights that FanDuel acquired, again, that cost a lot of money. So what's happening here is sports books are money printers, and they're using you as the paper and the ink. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at some of the specific bullet points behind what's going on. So, this is a game that is designed specifically for you to lose. And that is why you see these sports books doing whatever they can to get you to start betting. So, one good starting point is that you need to win 52.4% of the time just to break even. And then even if you are able to do that, let's say you're able to exceed the 52.4% winning percentage, you still need to account for transaction fees, research time, any subscription costs, so any subscriptions that you have to learn what are the best bets, and then you also, of course, have to pay for taxes. It's also important to consider that with these bets, there's not going to be any value. And that is because sports books have access to the best, most sophisticated algorithms that are running through massive data sets. So there aren't going to be any good bets for you to take advantage of. And this is what I have on this next point is the lines are so accurate, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to pick up easy wins. And if there are any slight inefficiencies, these are going to be quickly picked up by the sharp bettors. All right, so one other really important point here are limits. And so if you do, let's say you are in that top 0.1% of bettors and you know something that everyone else doesn't, and you are able to beat that 52.4% winning percentage, then what will happen is the sports books can limit your bets. So even if you are able to win, even if you in theory could get ahead, what happens is your betting limit will be diminished, or they just won't let you bet altogether. And we'll talk more about this in a moment. Then there's also the psychology aspect of this, which really gets at that most people that are betting on sports can't handle emotionally and psychology betting on sports. So you might go on tilt after an unlucky loss. You might start trying to get your money back by doubling down. You may even you lose even more. You may lose even more money than you have to gamble with. So the old saying is obviously, don't bet what you can't afford to lose. But what happens is some people inevitably become unraveled and they start to gamble with, let's say, their grocery money or their rent money. All right, and so one takeaway here is to invest where you can actually win, because again, the sports books are money printers and they need you to print their money. So why even play this game that is designed for you to lose? So instead, invest your time, money, and energy where you can win. With working out, you have a guaranteed return on investment. One just random idea is to study artificial intelligence, since it's obviously the future. Another idea, start your own business. And then one more, spend time with your family. You can get a return on investment on all of these. At the very least, even if you start a business and it doesn't work, at least you had a chance to make money, which is, in theory, what you're trying to do with sports gambling, but it's not going to happen. So I talked about the limits, and here we have an article from ESPN, and the title is Sportsbooks Defend Practice of Limiting How Much Sharp Customers Can Bet. This is a really good article, and I'm going to link to it in the description. But if you look through the quotes, and I'm actually not even going to read through them. I recommend that you read the article. But if you look through the quotes, you can clearly see that if you start to gain an advantage, you are going to be limited or you're going to be shut down by most sports books. Um, so let's read a quote here. Nearly half of the small population of limited customers were actually net losing with Fanatics at the time they were limited, which I really think drives home the point that we're not looking at the results. We're looking at the way they're wagering. So this is one of this actually this is the vice president of compliance for Fanatics. So they're trying to paint the picture that they're not actually limiting winning bettors, but that is what's happening. And we can look to a Reddit discussion to find this out. So one person writes, "There's no coming back from getting limited. I've gotten chopped at MGM, Fanatics, ESPN Bet, and Bet 365 down to absolute pennies. FanDuel's and Caesars moderate limits. DraftKings is the only place who hasn't limited me yet in any way. And the crazy thing is, I've hit them for more money than any other sports book." Um, let's see. Here's another comment. "Go to a book that will take your action. I'm limited on 5 sports books, but there is always one in state that will let me bet on anything. Once you're limited, it's over. Even when PointsBet, worst book in the US, was acquired by Fanatics, my limits carried over. LOL. You can ask traders to review your account, but I've never seen them lift limits before." Someone wrote, "Fanatics is so awful that they had limited me before I could place my 10 $100 free bets." Then we have a comment, quote, "Hey, come use our app and win some money." And then another quote, "Wait, you're actually winning? Oh, fuck no." Someone wrote, "ESPN Bet limited me after I won 1.7K off the free bet. Jokes on them, though. I don't use it, never will." Just looking down. Yeah, so the point here is that, again, this is not a game you are designed to win. If you are limited as soon as you start winning, so if you are in that very small minority to where you can actually win betting on sports, then they're just going to shut the game down, right? They're going to make it not worth your while because they don't lose money. Again, this is a game that is set up for you not to win. I will link to all of the websites as well as the Locust video in the description.